Hey everybody, got another how-to video for you here. This is a technique I came up with recently for doing a fast, easy, inexpensive top coat, clear coat finish on guitars. You might recognize this. This is the sample piece from the staining video. And this idea, more or less, it's kind of based on something that I saw on Ken Parker Arch Toppery, where what he does is he'll take a guitar and he'll seal it with as thin a layer of epoxy resin that he can, and then he'll use true oil over top of that in order to get it to the level of sheen that he desires. And what I did is I kind of like tried that with what I had around, but I also had been shopping around for options in clear coat. I've tried everything. My God, I've tried, oh God, you name it. I've tried spray lacquer and spray acrylic and spray enamel and spray water-based poly and brush on shellac and brush on poly and brush on lacquer and true oil and, no, not true oil, sorry, linseed oil and tung oil and all kinds of things. So, but this is something I just recently came up with. I've only done it on one build so far, but it turned out really cool. So I thought I'd pass along the trick. And all I'm using is oil-based high gloss poly, brush on. And this is my applicator, a wadded up piece of printer paper. And I'm just gonna get just a little bit of poly on it, not a whole lot, just a little bit there on the end, and you rub it on. And basically, this way you can get a very, very thin coat of poly, and all this does is more or less kind of seal things up, almost like a sanding sealer. And it really doesn't take a whole lot, and you'll start to build up a little bit of film. And you don't want to leave anything really like wet on it. You just want to build up a little bit of film. And as soon as I finish this, I'll show you the guitar that I did with this process, or this finishing technique, clear coat technique. And as you can see, this is still taking in some poly. It's soaking it up pretty good. It's starting to get kind of saturated here. Go ahead and get all I can onto it. Get it to take what it will take, so to speak. Stuff goes on a little on the dark side. I mean, you can see this brown here in the corner. That's the actual poly, but it dries clear. So now the only downside to this is that it still has the same curing time of a brush on poly. So, you know, at least overnight kind of a thing, or all day kind of a thing. Seems to be taking an awful lot. But I think we're getting close to saturation now. Hit it up one more time. Yeah, it's getting pretty saturated now. Okay. All right. Take off the excess. Probably do. Obviously, you can do this multiple times to build up more of a sheen. That right there is going to give you a, you can already see a little bit of a sheen to it. So this gives you, just one quick coat like this just gives you a satin kind of a finish, and seals and protects the wood, so that you can use cleaners on it and doesn't pick up dirt, things like that. So that's the basic technique. Let me go ahead and grab a guitar. So this is, what is this thing? I don't remember what this thing is. It's the X6 or the X7, something like that. I think it's the X7 actually. Let me think. The X5 was the one that had headstock. The X6 was, yeah, this is the X7. This one actually was, I'm going to do a video on it. It was like this, but it had a hinge here, and the whole idea was the whole tail part of the guitar would work like a trim, but it didn't work out, so I redid it with another body, and this body is all white oak with this finish method that I described. And as you can see, you get a nice satin finish this way. So it's and I did the neck's maple. The neck's also finished the same way, and it's got a little bit of sheen to it, just a little bit. So yeah, it's really not bad. It's very smooth finish too. I mean, it's like, you can't even feel it's there. How smooth the guitar ends up feeling is basically a function of how smooth you sand it before you put the poly on. But yeah, I was really impressed with the results. Obviously if you go more coats you can build up a higher sheen, but this is just one coat. Just like what I just did just now. I just hit up all the surfaces on this guitar just like that, and this is what I got. And I was like, hey, that's cool, that's good enough. Because, I'm tired of spending my life on building up a high gloss. I'm not a factory, so epoxy resin is, oh, yeah, that's the other thing, is that I was checking into all, like I said, I've tried all these different kinds of finishes. And out of them all, it looks like brush-on poly, oil-based, is the least expensive of them all. I mean, I've got a gallon here. I could probably do, a couple dozen guitars, maybe even, with 1 gallon. And, that's like, I don't know, 30 bucks at the store, something like that, if you go to a big box. I think I got this one online for about 40 or 50. But yeah, this seems to be the cheapest. You can also maybe do the same kind of thing with shellac. Obviously, you're going to need more layers in order to build up the same gloss level. But yeah, and shellac is going to be the next level up in price, and then, you know, things just get more expensive from there, as far as like how much your clear coat costs per guitar, more or less. So yeah, this is very expensive. It's very easy to do. Only downtime is it still has the drying time of your oil-based poly, so an overnight kind of thing. But in the morning, this would be ready to go, and it wouldn't be dark anymore. This is the original color of the wood, basically, but you know, it almost got this dark when I put this stuff on it first, until the stuff cured and dried. But yeah, you can see it's got a bit of sheen to it. So just thought I'd pass on that trick. See you all in the next video.